That's Inverary Jail. Did I say that right? Inverary.
Yeah.
I was just going to tell you a little story about it from outside, but I got told to move because me Julie, parked where she shouldn't have parked. So I had to jump in because someone was shouting at me. Anyway, in that jail, guess who was in there once upon a time? It was a jail from, I don't know, 1820 to 1861, something like that. Someone was in there. Rob Roy. Yep, Rob Roy got jailed in there. I didn't even know Rob Roy were a proper person. I thought it was like a comic strip person. I didn't know it were a proper person until I came to Scotland this time and I found out it were real. Just so that I don't look stupid, because someone's going to say it in the comments, Rob Roy was sort of jailed there before that jail was built. Okay, so when I said the 1860s, 1820s, he wasn't alive then, if there is such a person, we don't think. But he was in that particular spot. What are you all laughing at? I'm just talking rubbish, I don't know what I'm talking about. Rob Roy ain't real, is he? Are you winding me up?
He is real.
He is real.
He is real.
So the battery has gone on my big camera, so you're going to have to put up with my phone. We've come to, what's this place called? Right. It's like a Scottish village, very old, and it shows you, I think, we're not sure until we go in them, but we think it's like how it's like an ancient, it's like a village which is now ruined, but they've saved some of the houses and put them back to how they used to look hundreds of years ago and stuff, we think. We're going in the first one now, which is called the Tractor. That ain't the Tractor. So the first thing we've come across is a tractor, the Auchindrain Tractor. Really not interesting, it's just a tractor. But Julie loves it because it's an Irish make one, a Ferguson. Although the word Ferguson, I'm sure that's a Scottish name, but anyway. It's just a tractor. They move muck around and stuff. Let's move on to something cooler. Yeah, what this place is, it's like an old, maybe early 1900s, not sure. In fact, no, it's 1800s town. And this house here, there was a woman in it called Isabella McCullum, and she lived here for over 50 years, and she was known as the wise woman of the town. She was very good at first aid and medicines and stuff. She sounds like a witch, and I've seen a picture of her. She looks like a witch. I'm going into someone's house. I feel like I'm intruding. Oh, she smells. She smells, doesn't she smell? Isabella, she stunk. So what is this, people? Does anybody know what these are for? It's two paddles. It's got grooves on. And my Julie, she's just told me to identify what it is, because Julie knows. I don't. But I'm going to guess, Julie. I need to come around there because the light's terrible on this phone. I'm guessing this for something to do with butter.
Good man, yes. Butter pats.
Butter pads. So,
Pats.
pats.
Yes.
Butter pats. And what do you do with them? What are they for? Just to shape it?
You shape the butter into the blocks.
You see, I knew. I got it right again. There's nothing I don't know. Butter pats. Beautiful. Yeah, this lady who lived here, Isabella, she was born in 1822. Lived here for 50 years. And we've just found these as well. I'm just educating Julie. These are, you'd put a stamp in your butter, and then people would know where the butter came from, apparently. That's a thistle, I think. What's that?
A fleur-de-lis.
And a fleur-de-lis. We've just come into like a little barn. And trying to find out what it is. Julie just said what it was. Could you just repeat it?
The Bull and Wool House.
It's the Bull and Wool House. Apparently that means bull and wool. Irish, you see. Very strong Irish accent. I can't understand a word she says, but that's not a bad thing sometimes. So, why would you have bulls and wool in the same place? That don't make sense to me. I'm guessing the person who lived here hung themselves. Got part of a noose up there. That's a bit scary. This is pretty cool because we're in here and we've just been reading up on it, and it says the kids would come in here a lot because you can see where they've been putting graffiti on here, And that says Ma'am James. That's old writing there. John McCullum.
James Murray.
That looks like 1911. Graffiti from 1911. How cool is that? So the building we're going to next is from the early 1800s, and they even had drugs back then. This is the Stoner's Bar, apparently. Stoner's Barn, where they would keep oats, barley, potato and hay. And I can only guess drugs. Why would they call it the Stoner's Barn? This is the Stoner's Room. I'm presuming Stoner, that must be the name of the family. Family Stoner. Apparently they wouldn't use this room very often. Mr. and Mrs, the mum and dad of the family, might use it occasionally, but it was usually just left for when visitors came in the early 1800s. I presume that's where the children would sleep, because they're not very long, them beds. Bit scruffy as well, you know. I don't want my kids sleeping in there. The interesting thing about all these houses we've been in so far, I haven't seen a single television or internet router anywhere. It's like going back into the 1800s. Yeah, I hope I didn't get that on camera. What are you looking at? That is how to make a slug hover. We're in the milk house now, and I'm guessing you'd have the cows lined up there. They'd be milked. The milk would go down this little channel here to some glasses just outside there, and then a maid would carry them to the kitchen table, something like that. Does anyone recognise that? Golden Shred Marmalade. That's the Gollywog sign I found the other day, the badge. That's what it said on his t-shirt, Golden Shred. So this is the house where the scruffy people in the village lived. Look, the baby would be in this horrible little cot. But look at the dad's chair. Look at the state of that. It's falling to bits. That's disgusting. That's the kind of thing you'd throw on a bonfire. I've not seen one of them for a long, long time. That's beautiful. An old spinning wheel. A hot water bottle there on the bed. And somewhere to pee and poo. We're in a ruin. This cat is following us everywhere. It keeps hanging around my feet. Look at this fireplace, guys. Look how old that is. But I've noticed every single house is really, really low down. You'd bang your head constantly. So we're inside a chapel now, which dates from, I think it said 12th or 13th century. And there's all these stones inside. Dating back like 16th century, 15th century, and look at the carvings on them. You've got like a man on that one, a man on that one, these really old like Celtic designs on these. There's a man with a spear in his hand. And my jeweller just handed me these two pieces of paper down here to read, but way too many words. Look how many words are on them. I got bored after a few lines. But yeah, really ancient looking. But they're only from like the 14th, 15th, 16th century. They're not as old as they look. But they're still old, don't get me wrong. What does that say? Here lives the remains of Neil. Here live the remains of Neil. some of these are amazing. Look at this, you've got a big sword on that one. Now these were all stood outside, the graveyard outside, but they've brought them in here now. But I wonder who these belonged to, for them to have swords on them. Must have been some kind of warriors of some kind. IMM. Means nothing to me. So at this end of the chapel you've got these pews where people used to sit down. No. The tombs. If you look on the end of them, you've got hunting scenes. You can hardly make it out, but that's definitely, is it a ram or a deer? And another one there. Majuli seems to think it must mean the very important people. Well, they will have been important, won't they? Simply because of which part of the chapel they've been put in. Because I'm guessing these aren't from outside. What do you reckon? They look as if they've always been here. But that's quite odd. We're inside the chapel, yet you have actually got graves inside the chapel. These must have been very important people because they haven't been brought in. They've lived there forever. Now this one's quite spooky because it's got a hole in the top, and if you look inside, are they bones? That, I'm pretty sure, is a bone. I might be wrong. This one's from the 1880s, but look at the design on the top of there, like berries and things. Really well made. Here you've got a tombstone type thing. Some of the Campbells. Ian James Campbell died in the 1990s. And on this side, Ronald Campbell died in 1957. This is spectacular. It's one of the best old churches with really old, well, oldest stones I've seen in a church, you know, from the old graves. I've never seen anything like that, and I've never seen anything with a sword on it. That's spectacular. Just wish we could find out more about who they were. Hello, I am a pre-recorded message from the past added on to the end of this video to remind you all to please donate to Rays of Sunshine. Click on the links in the description. Go to diggingthecoast.com and click donate. Give all that you can to make a wish come true for some very poorly children, please. The next videos you get are going to be from me camping, metal detecting, and playing the bagpipes. In a kilt? You'll have to wait and see. Thanks for joining on Digging the Coast 365.